Torture destroys, torture fragments. So when people come here, they are completely lost. They're all over the place. They feel as though they have no past. They're caught completely in their torture stories.
Because there's been such a damage been done to them by another person, is a question of trust. So you need to develop a trusting relationship with these people. They also need to feel safe.
We exist not just to pick up the pieces of people, but also to tell the world that torture is bad, morally bad, politically bad.
We're jumping right behind the torture and into a space where they were before. We're trying to connect people here with their pre-traumatic capacities while dealing with the sequelae of their torture.
It's been 8 years since I was hoping to be accepted as a refugee. Every time I made an application or a fresh application, it was rejected. I was told to wait for their reply by July. When they replied, actually they accepted me. When I first came in the country, I didn't understand what was going on. You know, I used to have these panic attacks, sometimes I'm afraid, and I was not eating well, and sleeping was a problem. I was like absent. When I look back, I just feel that I was lucky to survive that, because there were bad thoughts of probably killing myself and things like that.
Freedom from Torture has such an holistic and long-term approach to helping people. We have welfare advice, but also you have access to group therapies. You have access to therapy in gardening groups or support groups or talking groups or even chess groups or even writing groups where they can perhaps heal themselves through different ways of being and behaving.
I was very reluctant to join the group, first of all, at first. But as I met people and I heard some stories, and I realized that people who came from different parts of the world suffered the same kind of problem I had suffered back home. So it brings you together. It's called A Right to Life. And then we write about anything, but most of the case we will write our personal stories, issues that have been there in the heart, and as you write them, you are able to come and kind of get over it and, you know, and feel free. I feel it gives me a voice.
There's something about not being in a conventional room, which often can have resonances of prison. Walking down a long corridor to a space reminds people of their prison. So there's something that can happen that's quite different immediately by being outside in a garden. We'll have people who come here and in the beginning cannot plant seeds. We take them into the greenhouse, we suggest they plant seeds, and they cannot. Because seeds mean the future. To plant a seed means you think that you've got it tomorrow. And there's a sort of moment psychologically when people are able to do that. The garden is suited to people who find it really difficult to talk about what they've been through. And hopefully, as they engage with the practical tasks here, and as we work side by side, they begin to be able to talk. We're using nature as a sort of intermediary while conducting psychotherapy.
As well as helping people who have been tortured, we can campaign against torture in the wider world, and we can be a voice for many people who don't have a voice, to speak out against regimes where torture is commonplace.
To suffer in the hands of another human being is very difficult to comprehend. We realize that a human being is a complex entity. It's not just somebody who came with one issue only. So we see this person with multiple needs, and we see their emotional and psychological needs, but also the social needs, and we try to direct people to different places to get some of the help that they need.
I believe studying has been one of the most important aspects. Although it was difficult, But it gave me something different to focus on or to be worried about. My counselor, Joanna Knight, every week we met. She would say, I believe you can study. I didn't feel like doing it, but she kept on telling me about this. My first degree was just a computing degree, and then after that I did a master degree in data mining.
The people we are helping are people very able to repay to our society.
Freedom from torture, you can actually get them better and get some of them back into a normal life, get them back into relationships or back into work.
I'm running two therapy group here, and I told them that there are people who support us, and they are amazed that there are people who care.
A friend you can lean on.
Freedom from Torture gave me a platform where I could make friends.
You might be a working man by then.
They have given me confidence. They gave me the belief that I needed to build my life even under those difficult circumstances.
Especially with cuts in the NHS, they're not going to be a priority, some of these clients. They're not going to get the help they need. It'll be very much short-term work in other organisations.
Stay with us, come and visit us, come and see what we're doing. Feel free to ask us about the work, but above all, help us to continue to do this work.
I can work as a data analyst or a programmer. And I believe strongly that it's time for me to start rebuilding my life.